Let's move now to some international news. And India, of course, is in a terrible situation. It's now past 200,000 COVID-19 related deaths. On Thursday alone, nearly 3,500 deaths. Global aid is, of course, being flown in. Even South Africa is contributing. But it seems the second wave has yet to peak. The health system is already collapsing. And in the midst of this, elections have taken place in West Bengal. From New Delhi, I'm joined now by freelance journalist Pavni Mittal. Pavni, thank you so much for joining us. This really is the worst-case scenario, something India didn't see in the first wave, and there has been an election this week. Just tell us about the state of West Bengal, and were there protocols in place to try and prevent voting queues becoming super spreaders?
So the elections are actually happening across 4 states and 1 union territory. We're focusing a lot on Bengal because, the political establishment focused a lot on Bengal. And it's not just the polling. So the polling took place in 8 phases, and some of the political parties did approach the Election Commission saying that, could we compress it to 3 phases so that we don't have it spread out and we don't have them becoming super spreader events. But that's not, the only time where people are putting themselves in danger. It's those rallies and the images of those rallies that have really become the image of the calamity we're seeing right now, addressed by politicians across the board, especially the Prime Minister, who at one point I think even praised the number of people who had attended his rally, his deputy. And I think it's not just the holding of the rallies, it's the response. The response saying, well, the rallies were held in West Bengal, but at the time the cases were in a different state at the other end of the country. So I think it's really just the entire thing, because you have this happening on the eastern side of the country, and the central, which is Delhi, and the western, which is Maharashtra, really people gasping for breath, which has become the statement of the second wave, not getting oxygen, not getting hotel beds, not getting any response from authorities.
Pavni, just give us an update on what the stats are today and what you're hearing, because we know that aid is flying in. I'm wondering if it's making any difference. That's one part of it. But politically, the Prime Minister, you look at those burning funeral pyres and you have to ask, where was the leadership? Prime Minister Narendra Modi just talking about festivals of democracy in this week. Is he under political fire over this?
So first I'll answer your question about the aid. So I believe 40 countries, including yours, has sent in aid of all kinds. The US is sending aid, I think, to the tune of $100 million. That's the estimate, including supplies to ramp up vaccinations, which is something that we really, really need. Of course, aid is welcome, but what's also important is managing that aid, is making sure it's reaching people. And, it's great to know that we may have oxygen on Monday, but you have so many people who need it now as we speak. As far as the Prime Minister is concerned, there is a lot of anger that we're seeing. We're hearing about it. I'm talking to reporters on ground, because he has survived many, many controversies in the past. You had, demonetization in 2016. You had the lockdown last year, which was also, met with mixed signals. But, it's one thing when you feel like you've lost money or revenue, but it's another when you've lost someone in your family, your friend. So we don't know what the fallout is going to be, because the tragedy is still unfolding. For people right now, there is a lot of anger, but they're also living through trauma. People are sick, they're losing people. So we really have to see what's going to go on. But there is, a lot of publications have been, calling for more responsibilities internationally, and there's a lot of pressure. So we still have to see how the government's going to respond to that.
Absolutely, in the midst of a crisis. Thank you so much for your reporting. A New Delhi journalist, Pavni Mittal there.